Welcome back, viewers and listeners. We are back with another 2021 MLB Draft interview. I'm very excited to welcome on to the show Jordan Lawlar, one of the top shortstops in the class out of Dallas Jesuit down in Texas, of course. Welcome to the show, Jordan. How are you, man?
Thank you guys for having me.
Well, hey, man, we've watched a lot of you this summer. Very impressed. It doesn't seem like there's anything on the field that you can't do. Talk to us a little bit about how your summer's gone this far and kind of your impressions of your performances.
So far, I'm pretty, I'm happy with my performances so far. PG National is good for me. First time out, live pitching in a while. It's probably, a long time, couple months. So that was fun to get back out there with the competition. It's definitely interesting, though, but I'm glad with my performance there. And the next big one we had with my team was WWBA. That was a fun one. I was really hot in that tournament, so it was a good time to be hot. We ended up making it to the quarterfinals, I believe. And then we played Team Elite, which is a stacked team. So we went up early on them, and then we kind of let it go at the end. But that was probably the best game of this summer for me, just because it was with my team, and I love them. I've been with them for probably 10 years now. So just
Absolutely. And, you obviously performed really, really well over the course of the showcase circuit. But things have been a little different. I know you had mentioned it was your first day back at school today down there in Texas. It was a little different from anything you experienced previously. But I would assume over the course of this summer, you've probably gotten used to dealing with some of those protocols and some of those things. How different was it for you? And even in the process of getting ramped up to PG National, as you said, you hadn't seen live pitching in weeks, months, whatever.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot. It was a big transition just from going to the soft toss tee work to 89, 92, moving, sneaking on you, and power sliders. So it was definitely a transition. A lot of at-home workouts for me. I'd say 5 days a week coming out of the quarantine or in the quarantine. And I think that prepared my body for the humidity and some of the heat down in Hoover. So I'm happy I was able to get that in and some of the runs in down here in Dallas. But I think the quarantine was good for me. Really progressed just my body overall, and then just was ready for the PG National, even though I hadn't seen live in a while.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your offensive game because the first thing that pops out for me on film is your swing. I think it's really impressive how still you keep your head through the ball. You got a great swing plane. Everything is pretty sound. How did you get to where you're at now? I mean, because you've got a really advanced swing for someone your age. How did you kind of wrangle that into where it is today?
Really, it's been a lot of personal work for the most part, and then just kind of taking tidbits from what I've heard on MLB Network and just some of the little coaches I've been with over the years. But the big one was trying to somewhat bring down my leg kick a little bit. When I was younger, it was kind of aggressive, and I needed to tone that down because once I started seeing better pitching, it caused some problems for me. But just some minor adjustments, making the leg kick a little smaller, trying to keep the hands a little bit, move less movement, and then really just trying to focus on that ball and stay sound fundamentally. Really,
is there a guy that you have modeled your swing after through over the last few years?
I'd say a mix of Jeter and Correa, just because Correa's pretty still. If you watch him, his hands are preset, and then you just pick up the foot and let it go. And then Jeter, I like his hands, how he uses his hands in and out, just inside out balls, and just the way he finds the barrel on some of those pitches, more of the contact swing.
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit because I know obviously you're a player that's advanced on both sides of the ball. I want to learn a little bit more about how you approach the game defensively. You're one of the stronger shortstop defenders in the class. Great internal clock motions, throwing motion, all that sort of thing. Do you feel that that's your strength in the game? Do you sort of not look at it like that? I mean, how should we view you as a defensive player?
I think an elite defensive player, there's still parts that you always need to get better at, but you can always get better at everything. But I definitely say I'm pretty sound defensively, and then I'm always ready for every pitch because you never know when the ball's going to come for you. So I think that's where it starts, being ready every time the pitcher throws that ball, and that'll take you into the after he hits it, then you'll be ready to react and do what you need to do from there. So I'd say that's where it is.
Okay, so shifting back to the offensive game, I do want to talk about your defensive prowess because it's pretty impressive. I mean, you're one of the better defenders in the class, that's for sure. One thing that really interests me though is, and I don't know how much reflecting you've had on this, but it's just your frame. 6'2", broad shoulders. The cliche out there is there's a ton of projection in your frame and where it's going to go. I more so want to ask in terms of power. Do you try to get into your power stroke in game, or do you just kind of just hit and let the bat do the talking, and just knowing that will come?
Yeah, for the most part, it's really just barrels for me, trying to just get the barrel to the ball and make solid contact. Because if you run into one, it'll go. And I saw that a little bit in WWBA, where I smoked on the center field, just kind of nice and loose with the hands and just flip the barrel at it, and it was a rocket out. So I'm going to wait on it. When I grow a little bit, I know I'll get a little stronger and I'll be able to put balls a little further out of there. But right now it's more just focusing on trying to get that barrel to the ball and shoot the gaps.
So I guess a really quick follow-up is you're not in a point or a stage in your life right now where you're pressing for good weight. You're just kind of letting, age do its thing.
Yeah, that, and then just making sure I stay on the workouts in the off season and making sure I'm trying to improve my body just in the weight room. But I'm not trying to Bryson DeChambeau it, you can say.
Good reference. I'm a golfer. I like that.
Yeah.
Same here. Bryson's probably the one person that actually makes me watch golf tournaments.
Bryson is a 3-0 Grand Slam king.
Yeah, Bryson's definitely swinging 3-0.
Yeah.
What was your initial take on that, Jordan? Now that Joe brought it up, so we can dive down that.
On the 3-0 debate. On the 3-0 debate.
Yeah. The 3-0
debate.
I mean, I don't know why you take that off and take the pitch there. You go down 3-1, then I don't know, it just sets you up for something bad to happen, ground a double play or roll over, give away the at-bat. So I think you're always aggressive and you just attack the ball and see what happens from there. So I'm on to Tatis's side there. I don't think he should have apologized. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to compete. That's what it's all about. I want my best players to, be the hardest competitors out there on the field day in, day out, every single at-bat, every single play. So I think that definitely tracks. Going back to some of the showcase circuit stuff, probably something to do with hitting, but is there a moment from any of these showcases that really sticks out to you, whether it's a hit, a homer, something small in the field that you were like, hey, I'm sort of here, or I can't even believe I did that?
I'd definitely say that WWBA game where I had 2 home runs in the one game. I almost had 3. My second at bat, I hit a line drive, caught on the warning track. So he was right on the wall. That would have been crazy for me. I'm not really a home run guy, so 2 in a game is crazy. And if I would have had 3 in a game, that'd have been even more insane. So that was probably the best part offensively for me and the most shocking, I'd say. Yeah.
You talked about going into these showcases cold and going from a tee to in cold weather into live pitching, and not only live pitching, but the best your age bracket has to offer. Is there a dude that has just kind of wowed you on the mound that you've had to face that is just a cut above the rest?
So there was, I can't remember who it was, but it was a perfect game. I think it was a 4 or 5 pitch at bat. Started me off a changeup in on the hands, on the shins, swung over it. Then he tried to go fastball. Then he had a super tight slider on me, and I actually bit at it. And then he went up fastball, and then he just I think he froze me with a curveball again. But it was just that's his sequencing and then the movement on his pitches that really got me. And then there was a 2022 actually at Area Code. I think it was Ian Ritchie. He was on the whole team. His slider was
Richie's from the middle of nowhere. I mean, he's in the desert up in the state of Washington where I'm from. So I know Richie. Yeah, he's got good stuff.
I'd definitely say that slider was probably the best I've seen in a while. So yeah, that was crazy.
High praise. I'll sort of go on the other side of it and say, is there a position player you've either played with or faced off against from this class where you've been, just tremendously impressed by their play?
I'd say, honestly, I'd probably say Ryan Spikes. Just an area code game we played him. I just felt like he had barrels on all the balls, and then he was really hitting them hard on base all the time. Felt like he was stealing second every time he got on base. And then we also played him with Team Elite. He came in to shut us down at the end and kind of ruined our tournament. So you can say that. But I definitely say Ryan Spikes for me.
You know, we've talked about your bat, talked about the power, the speed, the D. I'm particularly impressed with watching your mind work as you talk about pitch sequencing. Is there something that you know over the next calendar year or 10 months that you're specifically looking to kind of grow as a part of your game that maybe you think could develop?
I'd say just paying attention to the small details, like certain tendencies of pitchers, watching them between innings, seeing if they're tipping anything, and then their sequencing, of course, but mainly just more of the smaller mental things that trying to get that edge in between innings when you're not either in the box or on the field, and just paying attention to the game. So kind of focusing in and honing in on improving those details, or focus to detail, or attention to detail, I mean.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So I always ask this question. I'm interested because guys have answers that are incredibly varied, across the board.
Yes, sir.
Have you utilized any sort of tech or, any sort of high-speed cameras, any of that sort of stuff, particularly in the shutdown or coming into the showcases, maybe even coming out of the showcases that you felt have had, an impact on your development as a player?
I've used a little bit of blast motion, but it didn't really stick with me. So I've kind of stayed away from those kind of things and just focused on really just feeling the barrel through the zone and just trying to get that barrel to the ball. So I kind of stepped away from that and just kind of go off feel and then just kind of what I see off the bat and how it sounds and all that.
Well, you are the first Vandy boy commit we've had on the stream here. So, I mean, the baseball program kind of speaks for itself, but I have to ask, what was it about Vanderbilt and Coach Corbin that just, made you say, if I'm going to school, it's going to be Vanderbilt?
Yeah. First, I'd say academics. I've always been big on academics throughout elementary to now high school. I have a 98 GPA, so I'm big on academics. And then really just Corbin and Baxter are just great duo. Like, I love them so much. But I just feel like they can take me anywhere, and I'm comfortable living with them for the next 4 years if I have to. And that's what I'm intending to do right now. But so I'll give you a little story on Corbin. We went up there for an academic visit. My mom and we went around the thing, and then he let us come into watch him probably 2 or 3 hours in a fall ball practice. And one of the drills, I saw him get out there, and he was just sitting on his backside at second base while the third baseman were just throwing balls right over his head. And the second baseman working on double play turns to first. And the guy was just coaching from the ground, looking at the balls coming over his head. And I was so amazed that, what is he? He's an older man. I'll say that.
You just lost your scholarship.
I think he was polite, man.
You handled that very well.
Yeah. But he's on the ground, just comfortable right there, trusting his guys. And if he's going to get on the ground and do that, then I want to play for that guy. So
I can appreciate that story.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I think we always sort of ask this question as well, but do you have any goals that you've sort of set for yourself going into this draft year, sort of this final push over the next 9-10 months? And, obviously the decision could be you end up going to Vandy versus, going into the professional ranks. But what are the goals you've set for yourself over the next, this course of time?
I'd say overall, just trying to better my skills overall in general. Every single thing can always get better. So just keeping that mindset and then working on some of the smaller details that I've noticed. One would be getting out of the box a little earlier. I saw that, and I'll be working on that and just really trying to work on details. I'd say the bigger things have kind of been I've got them over the years. I've worked on them enough. It's more of trying to honing in on those details and just really trying to be the best I can be and show the best I am at every event I have from now on and till that potential draft. So,
all right. I like it. Ralph, we could go right into the crazy questions. I don't have any more baseball questions for Jordan. He kind of covered the whole gamut.
We got to hit him with a Pitbull question then.
The Pitbull.
Eddie threw that one the other day, and
We've used that a couple times now, and I'm thinking guys have had time to think about it. Jordan, you know the Pitbull question?
Did you ask Ian that question?
Yep.
I think, yeah.
Well, good. You've got time to think about it. So I'm gonna say the question so viewers know it. If you had the opportunity to listen to every song ever made and every future song that's ever going to be made by only Pitbull, or wait, is that the question? Or is it's every song that's ever been made sung by Pitbull, or one song, doesn't matter what song it is, but everybody, like every artist only sings the one song?
I'd probably just say Pitbull, honestly.
That is stunning to me.
You got the energy, so you can find something that gets you hyped. So
that's my answer too. I want to hear some variation. You know,
yeah, I couldn't listen to one. Yeah.
I feel like that one song, no matter how much you tried to make it different, it still wouldn't be different. Otherwise, it'd be a completely different song, right?
Exactly.
It's got to have the same foundation and composition. So.
It would always be stuck in your head, no matter what, no matter who sings it. It would just be like it'd turn into the Bible.
Like a banner.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, Ralph,
I think that's it. No more goofy questions for you, Jordan. Thank you so much for joining us here for this quick hit interview with Prospects Live. We surely appreciate it. And good luck over the next year. Good luck going back to school. Stay safe. And we hope we hear your name going in the top 5 when draft day rolls around next year.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you all. Thank you for your time.